The other three police officers, I should say ex-police officers, are now facing charges of aiding and abetting second-degree murder and aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. Tell us how you landed on those charges.
Well, if you assist somebody in the commission of a crime, then you can be held liable for that same crime, even though the principal actor is the one who is driving the action for the crime. If you assisted, advised, helped, then you can be held culpable for the crimes of another.
The maximum sentence, I take it, for all four of these ex-police officers remains the same. What, 40 years? Is that right?
25 years is the statutory sentence.
For second degree murders, 25 years?
Yes.
As you know, the Floyd family and their attorneys, they had wanted first-degree murder charges for Derek Chauvin. Is that still a possibility, Attorney General?
We're continuing to gather evidence, and if we get evidence to support that we can put in front of a jury, we will present that. At this time, we brought forth the maximum ethical charges we could, which are based on the facts that we have found.
I take it the three other ex-police officers, they either already have been or about to be apprehended and arrested. Is that right?
Yeah, that process is ongoing as we speak.
And they will be held, will they be eligible for bail?
In Minnesota, all offenses are bailable, but I don't know if they'll make it. That's something that's been yet to be determined.
You've actually called for the public to provide additional evidence if they have it. But at this point, do you believe you have enough evidence? You know, these cases, as you well know, Attorney General, they're by no means easy to prove against ex-police officers. Do you have enough evidence right now, or do you believe or fear there still may be some gaps?
No, we have enough evidence. We wouldn't even charge them without enough evidence. But at the same time, there are other pieces of evidence out there that may help reinforce evidence that we already have. That's why we want to encourage anyone who has videotape, anyone who has any kind of information to come forward, to share that information with us. And we think that process is critical for people to continue to cooperate with us. Because there are things out there that we may not know yet, but we do know enough to charge these cases out.
Because as you well know, and as you acknowledge, and you're a man of a lot of experience in these areas, winning a case against ex-police officers is by no means easy. You got to go to a jury. One person on that jury can result in a hung jury. You can have a not guilty verdict. We've seen that happen when the evidence seemed so powerful. We've seen that happen on many occasions. It's a serious problem you have right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a big challenge. And, you know, it's hard for people to appreciate sometimes because they see, you know, like the Rodney King video, and it's like so shocking to everyone. But that Simi Valley jury acquitted those officers in that case. It took a federal trial to convict them of civil rights violations. And by the way, well, there is a parallel color of law federal investigation going on right now. But also in the Walter Scott case, which is a more recent case, that jury hung, and the state jury hung, and the feds moved forward on that one. Trayvon Martin was not a police case, but it was a quasi-police case, and we all know what happened in that case. So the fact is that these are difficult cases, and you know, that's why we have to work very hard and prepare very thoroughly.
And that could take quite a while to get ready for a case of this enormous magnitude and historic perspective. But the video that we've all seen now, and it is so horrific when we see that ex-police officer kneeling on his neck for almost 9 minutes. It's so powerful. But what I hear you saying is you need more video. Is the police body cam video, is that powerful as well?
What I can tell you is that it is consistent with what we have seen in the video that the world has seen. It offers various perspectives, and there's also other video out there. All of it reinforces our conclusions and the facts we've put in our complaint. And so That's a story on that. If there's more video, and there very well could be more, we want to see it. Multiple angles are helpful. I have every reason to believe that the defense in this case is going to attack every single link in the prosecutorial chain, and we need them all to be strong. So if we have redundant evidence, that's okay.
Because that video alone that the public has seen, that we've all seen, is so powerful, so convincing. We hear awful chants, I can't breathe. We hear the public nearby saying you're killing him, stuff like that. But you say you want more video to bolster your case?
If it's available, we want it, but we do believe we have enough now. I will say this, Wolf, these cases are tough. The lawyers on the other side will be good. Sadly, there's been so much of this kind of behavior that the defense counsel will be experienced, and they will be well resourced. So, having more than one piece of evidence to prove a critical fact in the case would be very beneficial. So we want to continue to encourage people to come forward if they have it. But well, if I may, I hope that people know that this case, even after we win it, which we are absolutely committed to doing, that won't solve the systemic problem of our society. We need folks to get involved. We need people to work on police community relations. We need people to be a part of the cause of justice so that everybody can say liberty and justice for all in our beloved America.
Yeah, you make an important point because you've also spoken about the challenges that these kinds of cases have had historically. They've been under-prosecuted, but you feel you have a powerful, strong case that you can win this case. Can you walk us through a timeline? Because, the American public, so many of us want to see action. They want to see it quickly. How long do you think this trial, this whole process is going to take?
Well, it's not weeks. We're talking in terms of months. I don't think we're talking years, but we're probably a number of months before this case will be in front of a jury.
And will there be 4 separate trials for each of these ex-police officers, or will they all be together?
Well, that's yet to be determined. That will be determined by motion practice. And we will see. That's something that is a fact yet unknown, but it's actually a strategic question that we need to discuss internally.
In your investigation, Attorney General, did you discover that all 3 of these other ex-police officers who have now been charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder, they were equally responsible as far as your evidence points to?
From a legal standpoint, we believe they're equally responsible. Their behavior, I think the facts will eventually show, varied from person to person somewhat, but all of them met the threshold for being charged under Minnesota Statute 60905. They all aided and abetted.
You've also spoken at times, Attorney General, about the weight of this historic moment, and you see what's going on in major cities around the United States. What would you like to tell, first of all, the Floyd family and so many Americans who have taken to the streets, who are calling for justice right now?
I would tell you that every important advance in American history, women's rights, civil rights, has come because people peacefully got into the street and they raised their voices and demanded change. And this situation is not going to be any different. But we also need people to know that the demonstrations, they might be dramatic and they might be really powerful, but the hard work of constructing a just society in which everybody can expect equal protection under the law is going to be done in church basements and meeting rooms and community meetings. And some of those meetings are going to go long, and some of those ideas they're not going to be glamour. There won't be cameras at these meetings, but they are absolutely essential for the real work to be done. We need to ask people in all communities all over this country, can we sit down with your local police department and talk about how we can have use of force reviews, how we can talk about how we can work together in a way that can restore trust. Those are the tough meetings, and they won't be fixed. Washington will help, but they won't fix in Washington or in St. Paul. They will be at the municipal level, at the community level, community to community, and that is how that good work will be done. And because that's the way things change in America, people sitting together, listening to each other, making commitments to have a better way forward.